So, I just saw Mr. Kenny Beacham's video that he just posted like 26 minutes ago. I would have saw it as soon as it came out. But I didn't because I was in class. I was in school, so. Oh, also, go subscribe to both his main channel and his second channel, which is the video I'm talking about, Kenny For Real and KOT4Q. Both of them, go subscribe to them. Because he's dropping daily bangers on both of them. So, and the video is a very important video to NBA fans. And it's about how next season could be the best NBA season ever. And I think it will be. Not only because you're going to have a bunch of really good contending teams, like great contending teams, but you also got teams contending for the lower seeds in the playoffs. So, as soon as free agency's over, same day as the first game, I'm dropping 2 videos. Or, the same day as the first day of games, I'm dropping 2 videos. One is going to be my prediction, going in blind, because obviously you can't get a true logic-based prediction at the beginning of the season, because there's always going to be trades. It's just part of sports where there is trades. So, I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to talk about the teams and how they performed based on my expectations for them for that game. And I'm going to be more consistent with the videos. I'm not going to be, like, it's not like dropping one every day consistent, right? But I'm going to have a set schedule. I'm going to make a video on this day about something. I'm going to make a video on this day for something. And it's going to be like 3 or 4 days a week, maybe 5, depending on what's going on then for me. But yeah, so first I want to talk about the contending teams. So, starting off West, you obviously got the Lakers, they're the NBA champions. I was wrong. Go attack me if you've seen my prediction video. I said that the Heat were going to win in 7. It might have been a little bit biased, now that I'm thinking about it. But mostly it was based on logic. It was mostly based on logic for me. Because in my prediction, I would like to be able to say that the Kings would get the 8th seed. But I'm not going to put them as the 8th seed in that video because I don't think they're going to make it that far. I don't. So, yeah. That's a whole thing. So, talking about the contending teams, starting off West, well, I already said, you know what I mean. Lakers, you got them. The team in the conference finals. I think the only 2 teams that you can say every year are going to be contending in, talking about one conference. There's only 2 teams that I feel like throughout this whole decade at the beginning of the season you could say are going to be in the Western Conference Finals. Or you have a confident thing that they're going to be higher seeds they're going to have home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Throughout this whole decade, you've been able to rely on those two teams to be good, if you're a fan of them. And those two teams in the Western Conference, I feel like, are the Warriors and the Rockets. I don't think those two teams are going to make the conference finals. ESPN notification, my bad. Okay. So, you got then. So, I don't think the Rockets are going to be contending, but I do think that they will be a team that can affect whoever is contending. If they play one of those teams in the first round, they will be able to affect the outcome because they could get an upset if they are not a high seed. So we got Lakers, Warriors. You have to say Nuggets because most people thought that the Clippers were going to win the finals based on what I've seen. And I still think that they have a pretty great chance at winning the finals next season. So, that's 4 teams right there. Lakers, Warriors, Clippers, Nuggets. There's one more team. You might disagree with me considering this team to be contending, but I think they are contending. And that team is the Dallas Mavericks. Luka was... I checked at one point, because when All-Star voting 2 years ago was going on, I was voting every day and I was checking who was leading the votes. At one point, Luka was going to be a captain if that was the official voting, and that was it. He wasn't a captain. He wasn't even an all-star. This season, he made the starting lineup. And he was an all-NBA first-team player. I think he's going to get even better. I think he will be top 3 for MVP voting. I think he will be. Up there with Giannis and LeBron. And what if LeBron... It's not going to happen, but you could always say, like, what if LeBron just gets an injury all of a sudden? It's not like a season-ending injury, but it causes him to fall off this season. Because he's getting old. So, it's probably not going to happen. In fact, I can guarantee you that it's not going to happen. But, you know, it could happen. So, now going out east. Obviously, you got the Heat. I think that they could have beaten the Lakers. I think they could have beaten the Nuggets. Actually, I know they could have beaten the Nuggets. I know they could have. It's not an I think. It's an I know. They could have beat the Nuggets. I think they could have beat the Clippers. I think they could. Well, obviously, last season they could have beat the Warriors because the Warriors didn't even make the bubble. I think that they could have beat the Nuggets. Or, wait, no, I already said Nuggets. I think they could have beaten the Mavericks as well. And I think the Celtics are also contending. Jason Tatum's going to get better. Jaylen Brown's going to get better. Kemba's consistently an all-star caliber point guard, like Kenny said in the video that inspired me to make this. And I am going to consistently reference it throughout the video. If you're mad, click off. I don't want your negative vibrations over here. Okay? I don't want your negative vibrations. If you have a problem with me referencing Kenny's video. I also think that you have to say the Bucks. Giannis won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Okay, he's one of the few players that I think of the top three MVP voting players, which were Giannis, LeBron, and James Harden, that Giannis, over the last few years, like 3, 4, 5 years, I think he's the only one of those three that has gotten better each year. Or not to the same rate every year. Obviously, this season, he won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. The season prior to this season, he won just MVP, and I'm pretty sure he was an All-Star the year before that. I think James Harden has gotten worse. I think LeBron got worse and then got better. But LeBron is LeBron. He's not going to go away. The only reason why I think he didn't make top 3 in MVP voting is because he got hurt. That's the only reason why. And his team didn't make the playoffs. The Kings did better than that season. I still can't believe that the Kings did better than the Lakers that had LeBron. I still can't believe that season. It feels like a fever dream, to be honest. And then you got the Nets. I almost forgot about the Nets. I think they have pretty good depth. They got 2 players that are definitely making the Hall of Fame. And will KD get worse? Maybe. But a player like Kevin Durant isn't going to be really bad after an injury. Like a lot of people are suggesting that could happen. A lot of people think he's just going to be Kevin Durant again, which is normal, which is respectable. I think that he's going to be mostly his form. I've seen a few people that think he's going to definitely be severely worse, which is also respectable because you never know. Injuries can affect different players in different ways, but I think it's going to be in between, but mostly leaning towards him just being Kevin Durant again. The way he plays, players that I think an injury would hurt the most: Russell Westbrook, Giannis. I think we saw it with John Wall. I think an injury would hurt Ben Simmons, because he's very athletic, but most of the reason why you'd want him on your team is for passing, but he also is a great scorer as well. Joel Embiid, I think it would hurt. Well, obviously it would hinder a player's skill, or how good a player is afterwards, no matter who it is. But these are players that come to my mind when I think of who would it hurt the most. And Kevin Durant, I think is the kind of player that wouldn't get that much worse. I think he's still an all-star team starter next season. I think that's going to happen. And I think that, I can't really say much else. So, now the other reason why this might be the best NBA season ever. The teams competing for the lower seeds. West 1 through 8 are always going to be good. Kenny said that also. I'm not going to just act like I got that idea on my own, which you always know that they're going to be good teams, but I probably wouldn't have talked about it if Kenny didn't say it. Because I have a very, I'm not going to say I have a slow, my brain is slow, but certain things I can't really bring up unless I hear it recently. Okay, so the teams that I think are going to be competing for a lower seed are the Suns, Grizzlies, of course, Timberwolves also. I think the Spurs are going to be a lower seeded team than they were in past years. I don't think they're going to be contending. So we got Suns, Grizzlies, Timberwolves. I think the Blazers aren't going to be... So when I say, like, teams competing for a lower seed, here's the Western Conference tiers for where you are in the standings. Contending, like you're a top 3 team. Then there's teams that I could see beating a contending team in the final or in the playoffs or wherever they meet them. Then there's teams that give them a little bit. Why? Why is the okay notification? You know how it is. Like and subscribe and turn notifications on, as ESPN reminded you of just now. Go do that. So then there's the teams that below the teams that I could see beating a contending team in the playoffs. Teams that are good for long periods of time, but there's something keeping them from getting over the hump, like the Rockets have. But they're not. In some years they've been contending. This year they were like that tier team. Then there's teams competing for the 8th seed, sometimes even the 7th seed. And these are the teams that I could see getting the 8th seed, maybe the 7th seed. So I said the Suns, I said the Grizzlies, I said the Timberwolves. I think the Blazers are more of a team that this season will be between the between the tier I'm talking about now and the tier that could realistically be a contending team in the playoffs. So I'm not going to be putting them here. I could see the Pelicans getting that spot, and I could see the Kings getting that spot. So that's 11 teams that I've mentioned, and then there's the last tier, which is teams that are a little bit below getting a playoff spot or having a realistic chance at a playoff spot, and there's top 5 pick teams. So, and then we got the Hawks competing for the 8th seed. We got Magic. This year I think the Bulls are going to have a solid chance at a playoff spot too. Let me know who you think is going to surprise us the most in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe, like the video, turn notifications on, and follow my Patreon, NBA Talk. See you maybe tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure if I'll make a video tomorrow, but Until then.